are taking you to the world's most famous arena tonight. Kyle Lowry is in the house, averaging 13 and 8. What a season the Miami Heat are having. Jimmy Butler in the building. He's an all-star. One of 7 players averaging 26 and 6 on the year. We got the Heat Knicks and then the battle for L.A. as we count it down to the NBA on ESPN right now.
Welcome to NBA Countdown, presented by Mountain Dew.
Like you got a duck.
We are live at the Seaport. We are brought to you by Chase. Stephen A. is in mid-show form already. Michael Wilbon, Jalen Rose, we are jam-packed ahead of some good action tonight. And our opening tip will bring us to Philadelphia and James Harden, who makes his 76ers debut tonight as Philly takes on the Timberwolves. Harden, of course, exiting the Nets organization via trade at the deadline. But despite the questionable ways that Harden has departed each of his last 2 teams, Joel Embiid welcomed him this morning with plenty of brotherly love.
We're not talking about, non-shooters or, guys that are limited offensively. We're talking about James Harden. You see all the stories that are out there and all that stuff, and obviously, we all see it. I mean, it's completely different than, what you see out there. He's a great person, great personality, always smiling, fun to be around, everything really. His presence on the team and on the floor, has really changed a lot since he got here. So I'm just excited for that to continue on the court, and I think he's going to help us a lot.
So Embiid is excited, but we've seen it go sideways for Harden. Jalen, why is this time going to be different? Why is it going to work?
Well, because he should have everything he wants. He has Michael Rubin in ownership that vouch for him, who he has a relationship with. He has Daryl Morey, who he's with in Houston, who gives him a level of comfort. He has a championship coach in Doc Rivers. He has an MVP player in Joel Embiid. And finally, this is the third strike. So everything Joel Embiid said, and trust me, take it from somebody that's been traded a couple of times. Getting traded, everything Joel just said is what happens when you get a fresh start. But everything he said ain't what the people at the other stops feel. And so it's going to be interesting to see. But here's what he's going to have to do. He's going to have to move. He's going to have to cut. He's going to have to play with pace. And he's going to have to catch and shoot. Those are things that he doesn't always do. That's going to be an adjustment.
Well, take it from somebody who's covered people getting traded a couple of times, okay? The reality of the situation is the biggest reason why you can expect change is because James Harden is not in control the way that he was in Houston. And even though it was Kevin Durant's team in Brooklyn, he arrived there and you knew that ultimately Philly was his destination. Philadelphia is not Houston, Texas. It's a bit different. They're more hardcore. And I'm not trying to sit up there and throw any shade up on the city of Houston because I love Houston, but I'm saying they embrace them, they love them, et cetera, et cetera. Philadelphia, the same franchise, the same city that loves them, will turn against you in a heartbeat if you go up in there and you alienate Joel Embiid, which he will not do because that man is beloved, not just because he's a superstar player, but his personality. He ingratiates himself with the people. They love his style. They love the way he goes after it, how he doesn't back down to anybody. And they appreciate the fact that with all of that nonsense going on with Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid went out there every night and said, let me show y'all what the hell we gonna do without him, and did it and made himself into a leading candidate for league MVP.
Yeah, right now he probably is that. Is it going to work? Is this match, is this duo going to work?
It has to work for the short term, this year and next year. This is James Harden's probably best last chance or last best chance. This is a great chance to win a championship. He's already not been able to get that done in 2 other places. He's looking around at his peers. His peers include Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, and what do they got? Rings. He doesn't have that. And he personally, as great as he is, he failed in Houston to some degree. And okay, so couldn't get along well enough with Chris Paul, a guy who looks as great as Chris Paul can possibly look, even though he hasn't won a ring yet. That's what Chris Paul, Jalen mentioned this last week, that's how he's held in that kind of regard. What about James? James is not oblivious. He knows he's playing with an MVP right now. They've got to get this done, and there are no excuses this season for him.
I would throw Dwight Howard and Russell Westbrook into the same sentence as CP3 in this regard, Wilbon. You requested all of them.
Right.
You wanted them.
That's a good point, Stephen A.
You asked, you went to the organization and said, this is what I want, and then turned around and said, I don't want them. And they got him for you, and then they got rid of them for you. So the fact is, when you put him in a position of control, it hasn't necessarily worked out.
Yeah, to the very first thing you said, Jalen, he's got everything he wants. I feel like we've said that before, and then it goes sideways. So I go back to my first question. Why will it be different this time?
Well, in Brooklyn, Kyrie didn't get vaccinated, and James always had a problem with that. You just said it. Both of those guys have championships. You make me alienate the Rockets to come be a part of a big three, and we play less than 20 total games together. And so based on that, his attitude wasn't invested in the Nets. And so to your point, so now you start looking around. Daryl Morey's in Philly. Find a way to get there. So now he's there. And it got to be make it to the finals and or win a championship for this squad or bust. This can't be like, oh, you leave two teams and now he's averaging 25 and they get bounced.
So will they
in the
do it?
second round.
Michael Wilbon just said 2 years, this year and next. Will Philadelphia finally ring that bell in a meaningful way with Embiid and Harden at the top of their roster?
Hell no.
No.
That's not how I feel. That's just not how I feel. I know that Wilbon might look at me, he might attack me, and Wilbon has been very volatile towards me the last couple of weeks, so I'm still recovering from that. But I'm just saying, fellas, look.
I'm not that certain.
The James Harden trade has made the Philadelphia 76ers better.
Yes.
There's no doubt.
So why are you so sure they can't do it?
Because it made Brooklyn even more
Brooklyn
better.
ain't going
No,
nowhere.
it made
Not
Brooklyn.
this year.
It
Not
made
this
Brooklyn better than them.
But they're not a threat
And then
to
I'm on
Philly
Milwaukee.
this year.
Excuse me.
If they
I
play in
disagree
a
with that.
series right now,
I disagree with
Philly
that.
will take them apart.
I disagree with that totally. And you and I could go there, and I'll treat you. Because you know it's my second city.
We're gonna pick
You know it's
this
my second
restaurant
city.
and
That's
pick up
right.
the
I got a
tab.
few spots for you. A few spots. But
Gentlemen,
this will not happen.
I have a little trivia for us. We'll see how many points James Harden scores tonight in his first game after a midseason trade. Does anyone at this table know who holds the record for most points in a game in their first game after a midseason trade for a new team? Does anyone know who holds that record?
Wilt.
The answer is
Wilt.
Jalen Rose. Jalen Rose on February 20th.
Look at him.
February 20, 2002, scored 36 points in his first game after a trade.
And that tests my professionalism, Stephen A. Imagine you get a max deal in Indiana. Y'all make the playoffs and have one of the best records in the league for 6 years, and you get traded to the Bulls in February. They had 9 wins.
Wow.
Ooh.
They had 9 wins at this point of the year. And we won 3 straight when I first got there, and it was almost like, I need a parade. I need a parade.
Is Harden going to break the record?
I feel you on that.
Is Harden going to break his record tonight? Will Harden go over 36?
No.
Easily, an easy no. Do you know why?
Why?
Because damn it, it's cold to me. He's throwing out. He ain't scoring no 30
And I played
points in
83
Minnesota.
games that year.
It's too damn
What a
cold
pro.
here for him to do that.
At the
It's
bottom,
too damn cold.
at the bottom of the hour, guys, we have the Heat and the Knicks at MSG, and DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the
got
NBA.
the Knicks again?
Today, new customers can bet $1 on any game and win $150 in free bets if any
Absolutely.
points are scored in that game. Use the code SPLASH when you sign up. Meanwhile, we've got LeBron in our nightcap tonight after everything he said in Cleveland last week. The question is...